Welcome back, Happy Huggers. Today we're going to be taking a look at 3 techniques you can use to make sure you get a straight edge every time. Today we're going to be focusing on the US double crochet, and each of these 3 techniques can replace 2 current techniques that you might have already tried. The first one is to chain 3 and use that to replace your first double crochet. That normally leaves some lovely little holes that we're all familiar with. The second method that a lot of people try is to chain 3 and ignore the chain and to still complete their first stitch. And what we tend to get is we get some lovely little love handles, and that gives us kind of like that ripple effect. So we're going to talk through 3 different ways that we can get straight edges every time. So the first technique, and probably the first one I learnt, people tend to guess this one for themselves if you like, is if you've got quite a large gauge, you might be chaining 3 for your double crochet and thinking, do you know what, that's actually a bit too big. So the first technique is simply to chain 1 and to turn, and then to go straight in to that stitch with your double crochet. Now it will force that one to fall slightly down by the side, but you will find that when you get back round to the next row, it really isn't. Oh, I've got a little split stitch there. I'm working with this lovely cotton, but you have to be very careful when you crochet it. So yes, you may find that your stitch does slip down to the side a little bit, but what you'll find is when you come back around to put your final double in, it's not that much lower, can you see? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, once we've put a stitch in, it's really going to pull that up. You've still got that one single down the side and you're hardly even going to notice it. In fact, the sample piece that I showed you at the beginning, in fact, used that technique. So I'm just going to work my way to the end, and then we're going to take a look at one of the second tips. So the second technique you can use is, I don't think it has a name, I kind of call it the double single, because essentially that's what you're doing. You're turning your chain, you're turning your work, and you're going to single crochet straight into that first stitch. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a look, and you've got 2 loops here. What you're going to do is you're then going to place another single crochet into the one on the left only. So the one on the left only, you're going to place another single crochet in that. And what that gives you is kind of enough height. Let's go into the next stitch with a double, and we'll see how the stitch compares, because we do want these to look, almost mimic and look like a double crochet. I'm not having much luck today with that, am I? So there we go, let's take a look at this one. As you can see, it's brought us up to the right height. I mean, it's not too dissimilar. It's got a slightly, the post here slightly to the side because of where we've placed that second single, but you know, that's not a bad contender for the second technique. So the third and final technique is probably one of the hardest to master, and the first few times I did it, it looked a loopy mess. I actually filmed it and then thought, I can't show people that, because if I can't do it myself, then I'm not very credible showing anyone else. But I have found a couple of twists on it, and twists is actually the optimum word. So the stitch is created by pulling your loop up to about the height of a double crochet. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put your finger here to pinch your yarn so that you can wrap your hook around and kind of mimic your yarn over with this, allowing you to go into the stitch, yarn over and pull through both of them. And can you see that was really difficult for me to do? So the technique that I have found that works the best, and I work with cotton a lot, and look, it's really splitty. The technique I found the best is, as I've done this, is I spin it round a couple of times to make it feel, to cord it, to make it, you know, feel like one strand of yarn. It's going to prevent me from pulling up and making it too loopy. It's also going to really help me not split the stitch. So I think I don't have enough actually, because I'm spinning it, I'm actually shortening it. So I'm going to make sure that I pull it up a little bit more. than my double. So that's the size of my double. I'm going to pull it up to about there. I'm going to spin it around a few times. I'm then going to pinch it and then I'm going to tuck it under. So now I'm ready to go in to my first stitch. I'm going to yarn over like I normally would, and I'm going to pull back through. Then I'm going to yarn over, and can you see that's nice and easy now to be able to pull through that first two, making sure you've got your finger pinched, and then I can yarn over and pull through my final two. And let's just create the next double crochet. Ooh, gone too far. Next double crochet, and let's go for another one as well so we can compare. Because not all double crochets look the same, are they? They're all sisters, not twins, a bit like eyebrows. So look at that. I mean, that's a pretty good contender. It does look very much like this one. I've got a little bit of an extra bit there, but I think in the grand scheme of things, when you block it, you're really not going to notice. So I'm going to take that down and we're going to give it one more go. So pull it up to about, you might find if you're not working with cotton, you don't need to twist around. You might be able to just go straight in. Practice, definitely give this one some practice. So like I say, I twist it a few times, and then pinching this one, I'm going to yarn over with the same piece. Then I'm going to go into the work. I'm going to yarn over and pull back through. Then I'm going to yarn over and pull through two, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through my final two to have created my double crochet, and then I'm going to carry along. So there you have 3 new techniques for working with the US double crochet instead of a traditional 3 turning chain. Please let me know in the comments which one do you favour. If you like this, please do give me a thumbs up. I post every Friday. Subscribe if you want to be notified of my next video, and I'll see you soon. Happy hooking. Bye.